Good morning. It's Friday. It's the 7th of November 2025. And there is so much that's happening. And there's people out there that are in panic mode. We're going through a very, very interesting part of the movie. We're seeing in New York what's happening there. And we're watching the dismantling of the extremists. And I'm talking about the Zionists. I'm talking about the Islamists. I'm talking about the left wing and the right wing, but the extremists. And they're all being dismantled in plain sight. And the only way that you can dismantle it is from within. So don't be one of these people with narrow vision that goes, well, Trump's become best friends with Israel. The only way that you can dismantle the bad stuff is from within. And the same with the Islamists. And for those people who know about the Muslim Brotherhood, this is all being dismantled too. In Iran and other countries, they all have to be dismantled. And people will say, well, how do you know what's good and what's bad? It's quite simple. Stay close to God. God will tell you who's good and who's bad. And good people don't kill people. That's quite a simple thing. They don't go round trying to kill people they don't agree with. They're bad people. You don't need to know which group they come from. If you're out there trying to kill somebody, you're not a good person. Paul, good morning.
Good morning, Charlie. Hello, everybody. Well, my first story. During a White House announcement on lowering drug prices, a pharmaceutical representative suddenly collapsed while standing behind President Trump. Officials quickly helped him, and the White House later confirmed he's okay. The event highlighted a new deal with drug makers to reduce the cost of pharmaceuticals.
Well, this again, Paul, this for those who are awake, you laugh at it because it's part of the pantomime. They're trying to promote drugs, and then they're saying we're going to reduce the price, and they pass out. What a great pantomime, hey?
Well, staying with President Trump, he says New Yorkers will soon flee communism after the election of Zoran Mandami as the city's new mayor. Speaking in Miami, Trump claimed Democrats have installed a communist leader in New York and said Florida could become a refuge for those leaving the city. Mandani, a self-described Democrat socialist, supports policies like affordable housing and public ownership of utilities. Critics call his ideas radical, while supporters argue they address rising inequality and housing crises.
Well, this again is another part of the movie, Paul. For anybody who knows anything about New York, and you only have to go downtown New York to find the Jewish Quarter, run by a Muslim, this is going to be the extremists taking out each other. And there's nothing wrong with good Jews, nothing at all. And just because you don't like the bad Jews doesn't make you an anti-Semite. It makes you a God-fearing, Jesus-loving Christian. And we're going to see those extremists take out each other. And New York is a hotbed of Zionism, and now it's got a Muslim Brotherhood there. It's all part of the pantomime.
Well, Charlie, on to my next story. A federal judge has dismissed a criminal conspiracy charge against Boeing over the two 737 MAX crashes that killed 346 people. Instead of facing a felony conviction, Boeing will pay out $1.1 billion in fines and safety improvements. Critics, including victims' families, say the deal lets Boeing avoid full accountability, especially since the crashes were linked to a faulty flight control system. The company had previously admitted misleading regulators, but this ruling allows Boeing to keep its government contracts while civil lawsuits continue.
Well, these are all things that I've kept a very close eye on for the last 10, 15 years. And Boeing will take the hit because, as I said so many times before, forget about Boeing. Look at the manifest. Who was on that flight? What was on that flight? Then you'll find out the truth. And Boeing, on paper, will be fined and given us that, but nothing will actually happen. Because what they're doing is covering where there has been absolute cast iron evidence that they've taken out people that were on flights or stuff that was on flights for their own agenda. All of this will come to light over time, as it's coming to light with the MH370, as to who was on the flight and why. And it's the same playbook as the Olympic. Oh, no, sorry, the Titanic.
Well, my next story. The UN Security Council has voted to lift sanctions on Syrian President Ahmed al-Sharaa ahead of his planned visit to Washington next week. The US drafted resolution also removed sanctions on Syria's interior minister. 14 members supported the move, with only China abstaining. Al-Sharaa, who rose to power after Bashar al-Assad, recently met President Trump as the US shifts its approach to Syria. Officials say the visit could pave the way for Syria to join the US-led coalition against ISIS.
Well, even that story just makes me smile, because you look at ISIS, the Israeli Secret Intelligence Service. When you start from finding out who these people are, these people were created by Mossad and the CIA. So they talk about taking out ISIS. They're taking out an organization they created. Whether it's ISIS, whether it's the Houthis, Hezbollah, all created by Mossad and the CIA. So when they claim that they're taking them out, they're taking out an organization that they created, and they know who's involved. They know where they are. It's all part of the game. The problem that they have now is the world has woken up to their game, and we can see right through it, because they haven't changed their playbook. Their playbook is the same, because it's worked for years until 2020, when the world started to wake up. And thank God that the world has now woken up and is waking up en masse.
And one of my favourite European leaders, Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban, is heading to Washington this week to strengthen ties with the US under President Trump. Orban says Biden-era sanctions and funding for NGOs critical of Hungary have ended, and visa restrictions for Hungarians have been lifted. He has expressed support for Trump's diplomatic efforts with Russia and criticised Western military aid to Ukraine, arguing it harms Europe. The visit signals a reset in relations and closer cooperation between Hungary and conservative allies in Washington.
Well, Viktor Orban makes me smile, because he was the first to stand up. And it's taken time, but now we're seeing the young lady in Italy who's aligning herself with him as well, saying enough is enough. Interestingly enough, France, as a country, is aligning themselves with Viktor Orban and Italy. And yet the leadership is desperately trying to hang on to power. But the people of France are rebelling against them. The resistance is there, and it's falling apart. These people who've had power for years, it's slipping through their fingers, falling away. I said 3 or 4 years ago, the EU is over. Now we're seeing it. It's falling apart in front of our very eyes.
And speaking of things falling apart, YouTube has reportedly removed over 700 videos documenting alleged Israeli human rights abuses in Gaza and the West Bank. According to The Intercept, the platform also suspended several major Palestinian human rights groups. YouTube says the removals were required due to US sanctions placed on those organisations, which had submitted evidence to the International Criminal Court. Critics claim this is suppressing documentation of potential war crimes, while the company says it's simply complying with the law.
Well, if you look at YouTube, they probably came from the same school as the BBC. They edit whatever they want to. We were caught under the YouTube ban for 4 years. And then suddenly they came back and allowed us back on. Thank you, YouTube. But the most important thing about free speech is it's only free if you don't agree with it. If you agree with it, it's not free speech. It's when somebody says something you don't agree with. And that's where you see whether it's free speech or not. And my challenge has always been prove me wrong. And the people who've tried to prove me wrong have become my strongest allies on this journey, and I thank them for it. Those people who just criticise for the sake of criticising, time will tell with you. You've got nothing better to do. But stick to the truth. Prove me wrong. If I'm wrong, I'll hold my hands up. I'd love to be proved wrong about so many things. Human trafficking, child trafficking, adrenochrome. There's so many things I'd love to be proved wrong about. That was the news on the 7th of November, 2025. Tomorrow is Saturday. Join us on the Insiders Club, where we've got a lot of interesting stuff to share. We'll see you there.
Take care, everyone.
Hi, guys. This is a personal message from me. If you see a video on Facebook, you are following an imposter. I am not on Facebook. I have not been on Facebook since June 2020 when they removed me. Please redirect to watch all of my videos at charlieward.com. All official social media links are on my website. We urge you to stop following fake channels. I will never message you in a video. I will never ask you for money. I will never message you privately. I will never contact you directly. I will never ask you to email any information directly. I will never sell you cryptocurrency or any currency or ask you to open a quantum financial system wallet. Please do not get caught by these scammers who are out there. I do not endorse other truthers so that an imposter can say that I've said this. I will not ask you directly or indirectly to open a quantum wallet, so please be careful. If you want to check out the validity of anything, contact us directly via our website at charlieward.com. There's a contact page there. We have a customer care team there to help you.